Let's get rid of this and let's say hello to Catriona MacDonald. Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
Hey, absolutely brilliant, and I can hear you fine. I take it you can hear me okay, yeah?
I can hear you fine. Yes, thank you.
Right. First things first. Am I pronouncing your name properly? Catriona, is that right?
That's right. Yes. You're
All
probably
right.
one of the first people to get it first time, so thank you.
Well, I wondered because immediately I thought Catriona, and then I was thinking, no, hang on, maybe it's Catriona, and then I was thinking, well, do people actually call themselves Catriona? I'm not sure. Do people do that?
I don't know, but I think with pub quizzes, it's better not to second guess yourself. Just go for what you think is right.
Well, there's a politician who likes to check facts, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a live one here. So you're standing for the Scottish National Party in Edinburgh Southern, is that right?
That's right. Yes.
How's it going?
It's going well, yeah. I mean, it's a really strange kind of a campaign, as probably everyone that's been on has said to you. But I'm quite enjoying it. It's been quite exciting having to find new ways to campaign when you can't count on just going around and knocking doors in the old-fashioned kind of way.
Well, everybody has said so far what they really miss is the knocking of the doors. So do you know when that's going to be permitted?
Well, we're allowed to do it from this afternoon, but I think a lot of people are being a bit cautious because, you don't necessarily know that people want someone knocking on their doors at the moment. So I think a lot of people
definitely do.
Yeah, they're a bit. I mean, that's the other side of things. People just want someone to speak to at the moment now.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't mind someone. If someone came to my door, I'd probably enjoy the chat. I mean, obviously not to be convinced on the political front, but I would enjoy the chat.
Yeah, of course. So Edinburgh Southern, who's in charge of that at the moment? Is that SNP just now, or is that?
No, this is one of the Labour seats that we've got left in Scotland.
Right. So is the person who's the current MSP standing again, or are you up against an incumbent? And who's that?
It's Daniel Johnson.
Right. And how close is it going to be? I got a feeling this is going to be one of the closer ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a seat that's changed hands the most times in the history of the Scottish Parliament. So it's always an exciting one, and it's really tight. It's just over 1,000 votes in it, which is a really tiny number in the context of a parliamentary election. And
has it always changed hands, SNP Labour, or have the Libs had it as well?
Yep, it's been all three in the past. It was Liberal, and it was also SNP, and then it became Labour in 2016.
Okay, and what about you? I mean, we've had all sorts of different people who are candidates at the moment. I think you're one of the younger people. How did you get into this? What's your story?
It's not really politics. My background's in hospitality, so I've worked in restaurants and waitressing for about 10 years, and I opened my own cafe about 5 years ago with my mum. And so yeah, that's kind of my background, hospitality, and also I worked in tourism for a wee while, and then in our business, we did a lot of community work, especially on housing, which is kind of the issue that I care the most about. And I just kind of realised I was going to get more done in Parliament than behind the counter. So I decided to go for it.
So it seems, like one of the things people say about politicians these days is that they've all been at university, they're all professionals, they never had a proper job, stuff like that. But, obviously working hospitality, as I know very well, that is a very real job. So how do you make the leap from running a cafe to becoming an SNP candidate for Parliament?
Well, lots of people ask me that, but I've always think that working in customer service, if you've worked in hospitality, you know that it's kind of the best preparation for politics, because you always have to be calm, you have to think on your feet, you get the public or your colleagues being very difficult in stressful situations. And I don't know, I found that people, all the skills that I've kind of learned in hospitality have been really transferable into politics. And, obviously owning a cafe.
I don't do that for a second. I think a lot of people understand that. I think it's clear how it could be good. But how did you, what's the actual steps? Like, did you just phone up the SNP one day and say, by the way, I run a cafe, you should get me into Edinburgh Southern?
It was a wee bit like that, actually. I started going along to SNP meetings. I mean, I joined the SNP when I was 16, but obviously working quite a lot, I didn't have a lot of time to get involved. And then when I started to think, actually, I would like to get involved, I started going along to meetings. And then there was the snap election, and a couple of my customers who were also SNP supporters suggested that I put myself forward for it. And I don't know. The first time I didn't really think I was going to get it. I suppose because I also had that idea that you wouldn't be a waitress and then an MSP, and
Right.
but I went for it, and I did get it in 2019. I became the candidate, and I went for it again this year.
Well, fantastic. I mean, it's this is one of the things I've enjoyed about this. I was speaking to a Labour guy in Angus South last week, a very young guy, he's 23, you know, and it's like he's worked in Asda pizza counter, he worked in an optician, and it's like, all right, okay, they're not all just career politicians. Although I've checked out the salary for an MSP, and it's not bad. You're going to be all right if you get yourself sorted out in a couple of weeks' time. What's the first thing you're going to buy?
Well, I don't know actually. It's a bit different to a waitress's salary, isn't it?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Probably more an indication that the salary for hospitality needs to go up.
That's the answer. I like that answer. Right. Okay, listen, let's get on with the quiz. Now, I don't have the scoreboard to hand, but you need about 30 to get the SNP back into the leads. Labour are top at the moment. Greens are... No, the Libs are... Anyway, you need about 30 points. That's what you're looking for. The format, I don't know if you've watched any other ones, the format is 10 questions. They start off easier and get harder. So the first question is worth 1 point, and then it goes up 2 points, 3 points, so on. And the last question is worth 10 points. So they get harder and more valuable at the end. So just do what you can, and we'll see how we go. How are you on quizzes generally? What's your strength and your weakness?
Well, I came second in one of your quizzes once at the Brass Monkey.
Yes.
Which is, it's not first, but it's all right. I'm usually...
What's Brass Monkey? The Drummond Street one or the Leith one?
The Leith one.
Right, good stuff. Aye, excellent. Monday nights, yeah. Great, but I mean, it's difficult to win that quiz because it's usually pretty busy. A lot of people there. So, second, that's not bad. Right, you're going to be fine. Let's start off with a nice, easy one for 1 point, right? A really easy question to get you started. Name the long-running television sitcom which included Del Boy and Rodney as lead characters.
Oh, gosh.
You see, you're quite young. This is
this happens to the boy from Angus South as well. He got a TV one from before his time.
That's right. Yeah. Del Boy and Rodney, as in Del Boy and Oi Rodney, you plonker. Set in London, 80s.
Is it the young ones?
No, it's only Fools and Horses.
Oh.
Right, don't worry. What happened with the green guy? The guy who got the best score so far actually got the first one wrong, so that's only the 1 point question. You heard of Only Fools and Horses, yeah?
I have, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it's very funny. You should check it out. Right, number 2. This might be more your era. Complete the title of the 4th Harry Potter book by J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter and the Goblet of...
Fire.
Yes. Good, right, we're off the mark. We're up and running. Did you read those books?
I did, yeah, I read them all.
Yeah, they're too long. That's my criticism of them. Right, number 3. Which pantomime usually features a character named Buttons?
Oh, my cafe was right next door to the King's Theatre, so I definitely should know this one. It's Cinderella, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect. Very good. Right, you're motoring now. The first question thing that's behind us now. Question number 4 is an Edinburgh question. Which type of musical instrument? And this is 50-50, by the way. Which type of musical instrument appears on the badge of Hibernian FC? Is it a flute or is it a harp?
I think it's a harp.
That is correct. Yeah. Do you know why?
Possibly the Irish connection?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Irish origins, Irish creators of the club back in the 1870s. Right, number 5. Which English writer, these are getting more difficult now, which English writer was the author of The Descent of Man and Selection in Relation to Sex? That's one title, published in 1871. So the title is The Descent of Man and Selection in Relation to Sex. Who's the English writer? 1871, so Victorian times.
Victorian times.
Kind of scientific there.
Yeah, was it Darwin?
Yeah, very good. Well worked out. Charles Darwin. That was one of his blockbusters back in the day. Right, we're getting more and more difficult as we go on. Although hospitality background, you might know this one. Which brand of pale lager from France includes the year 1664 in its name?
That sounds. I feel like I've seen that on a beer glass.
Yeah, you will if you've 100 times.
Will I have taken it in? Is it Stella Artois?
No, it's a good answer. It's very similar type of stuff. Very close, but it's Kronenberg. Kronenberg 1644. So we've missed the 6-point question, the 1-point question, but you're still doing well. And number 7 is another 50-50 one. You get two 50-50. So question number 7. On average, how many years do lions live in the wild before they die? This is according to research by Pittsburgh Zoo. Is it 15 years or is it 45 years? So how long do lions live in the wild on average? 15 or 45?
You can't really imagine a predator living 45 years, can you? Let's go with 15.
That's a good answer. Yeah, good, well worked out. Yeah, they don't get long. They have a lot of fun, but they don't get long. Number 8 for 8 points. We're getting into the top difficult questions here. It's a geography question. Which range of mountains in northeast Italy includes a highest peak called Marmolada? So a range of mountains. It's not the Alps, right? It's something else. It's the highest peak is called Marmolada. It's in the northeast of Italy.
Oh gosh, I should know this one.
Why should you know it?
I just feel like mountains are a thing you should know for pub quizzes.
Yeah, you're probably right. It is quite pub quizzy.
I don't know. I don't know the answer, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's not one you can really guess. It's kind of you know it or you don't. It's the Dolomites.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Dolomites. That's proper second year geography, and then you never come across it again in your actual life. So that's the dark side of pub quizzes. Right, question number 9 for 9 points. This is a historic question. In fact, it's about countries becoming independent. So you might know this one. In which century did Belgium become independent from the Netherlands? All right, Belgium used to be under the rule of the Netherlands. In which century? You don't even have to name the year. Just which century did Belgium become independent?
Oh, that's a difficult one.
That's why it's a 9-point question. But yes. It's gettable. It's guessable and gettable.
Yeah. Just thinking, they were already independent when they were colonizing Africa, which was quite late on. So it's maybe one of the earlier ones, like around maybe the 14th or 15th century, something like that. Let's go with 14th century.
14th century, a little bit ahead of the curve there. It's the 19th century. They were
wow.
They were ruled by all sorts of different people, and it only really became Belgium in I think it was the 1830s. I think that was the first time they got their stuff together. So bad luck on that one. Right, here we go. The last one is a year question. What year did these two things happen? And I think I'm going to give you 2 years either way on this one. So what year was the Nintendo DS first released? And that was in North America and Japan. And the girl band Atomic Kitten released their greatest hits album and then split up. So what year was that? So Girls Aloud split up and the Nintendo DS was first released.
I must know this. Atomic Kitten were my first ever concert.
Really?
That should help put it in the context.
Where did you see them?
I think it would have been Glasgow, the SECC.
Yeah, was it totally amazing?
Yeah, it was. When I was wee, I loved Atomic Kitten.
Cool.
Let me think. Oh gosh, it would have been early 2000s, wouldn't it?
You just got to get within 2 years of the right answer to get the points.
Should have thought of that when I was younger. I should have memorized that kind of thing. Let's say let's say 2000 and I'm slithering between 1 and 3. I think let's go with 1.
You go for 2001. A complete disaster. No, it's 2004. 2004. Oh, no, 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 no,
Oh,
no. Ooh. So
like,
you've scored 21 out of 55. I think you're a little bit unlucky. I gotta say, especially that last one. I mean, that last one would have made the difference. Would have put you up in 31. Probably would have put the SNP in the lead, but it's
oh
not going to be
no.
like that. So, you've let your party down very, very badly. But it's but you also done extremely well. So, thanks for coming on. Basically.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me. And I promise not to darken your quiz doors again after lockdown.
Oh no, please do. No, 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 we need people who don't know about stuff like mountains, just to make the place a little bit more human. You know, because you get people who know about mountains and they're great people. You know what I mean? But it's like let's have some other chat. You know, get some atomic kitten chat in the quiz. So,
What about people
how
that don't know mountains or Atomic Kitten? Is there a place for us?
there's always something. I try to write the quiz that's got something for everybody. There's always a question that everybody knows. You know what I mean? Or like there's everybody in the pub will always know one question. You hopefully that the rest of the team don't. That's the thing as well. This is difficult because it's a solo effort. It's not a team thing. So it's very very difficult. Look, they're saying. Are people watching? Lorna's saying we did not do much better. To be honest, I think you got quite a difficult set of questions. To be completely honest, like I don't load them. Like I've got no affiliation to a party, so I don't load them. I've done a whole bunch of these sets and I just pull them out at random. So I think you got quite a difficult set, to be honest.
Thank you. That makes me
You've
feel
not
better.
brought shame. Yeah. No, you did all right. You did great. Well, mainly thanks for coming on and doing it. So what have you got lined up for the next couple of days? So you're out and about. You hitting the streets?
Yeah, we've got our next leaflet arriving at the end of the week, so I'll be out delivering that. I quite enjoy doing that. It's nice to get some
Actually,
exercise.
let me ask you about that. I meant to ask at least one of the politicians that have gone. See the leaflets, right? Do they make any difference? Is there any kind of science like as to whether they actually work? Because living here in a flat like I do, all the leaflets come through, and you look at them, and you're like to be completely honest, you're like, yeah. I mean, do they work?
Well, there's a lot of kind of conflicting views on this. My view's kind of in the middle. I think most people pick them up, they probably look at them, and then they put them in the bin. So you've got about 10 seconds to make an impact with maybe the front and the back of your leaflet. But I do think people who are either, they're not that invested in the election, or they maybe don't have social media, or they don't go online. That's kind of all they know. If they want to know who's standing for their area and what they're promising, then they really do rely on the leaflets. So I think they do still have a role to play, although there is the environmental impacts. We always use the eco-friendly paper and that kind of thing, but obviously putting out all that paper in an election is not great. So this has been an opportunity to try new things. So that's one good thing about this kind of election.
What have you? I mean, so what are those things? Have you? I mean, what kind of things have you been doing that you haven't done at previous elections? You've been doing, like I don't know, Zoom town halls and stuff like that. Can you do that?
Yeah, stuff like that. So I've been offering people phone calls and Zoom calls, and we're doing in the next couple of weeks Zoom meetings for people, Zoom hustings, which you would usually do in like a town hall or something. And I do like Instagram Q&As and things like that, and
All right.
just kind of community-based stuff. So like chalking pavements is one thing that we've started doing that I love. And
I noticed that on your Twitter feed, actually, quite a few chalk moments. It's quite good because it's not long term; it'll wash away. So it's like it feels quite friendly,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's always lots of nice things that you can try out doing, and sometimes things aren't as effective, and you can try them once and then not do them again. But I've been enjoying trying things out.
And thanks for putting on your name as you came through that you've got SNP, because I've just got to check that whenever I get someone from the SNP that you haven't defected to Alba or anything like that, because seems to be happening quite a bit. You're still SNP then, are you?
I'm still here. Yes, I've got too much to do to be jumping about.
Are you worried about them, or do you welcome them, or what do you think about them?
It's one of these things. I mean, it's on the one hand, it's really great that so many people are supporting independence and really engaged, and are running for parliament on that basis. Because obviously, I support independence, and I would love to see more MSPs that support independence. But on the other side of things, the SNP is a party that doesn't just support independence. We have a big range of policies that we want people to vote for. So that's why I'm not going to be moving elsewhere, because I believe in the policies that we've developed and that I've helped develop as a member.
Well, you've been in the party since you're 16, so you're at home in the party. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, listen, you've done really well tonight. It is difficult on your own, and it was a difficult set of questions tonight, but the scores go on the board. That'll get the SNP up the board, and thanks very much for doing the quiz.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
All right. Good night, Catriona.
Bye.
Bye. That was a particularly difficult set that Catriona got. It was not easy. Right, it's 8:25, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much to Catriona for coming and doing that.